Hi, everyone. Welcome to ElCo Chats. My name is Julieta. ElCo Chats is a regular podcast where we feature El Camino College students, managers, faculty, staff here at El Camino College and talk about all things ElCo. For today's episode, we have Emily Torres. Welcome, Emily.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. You are a very busy person from what I understand, and we'll get to hear a little bit about why you're so busy. So we'll start with the first question. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name is Emily Torres, and I am a current junior at Gardena High School.
Thank you. And so you're not just a current junior at not just a current junior at Gardena High School. You're also a part of a program called dual enrollment. So you're currently attending Gardena High School and you're a student here at El Camino College. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, being a student at Gardena High School and then also being a student here is definitely challenging. It's a lot of work and a lot of late night studying and doing homework. But I think something that really helped me was my sophomore year was when I started taking college classes and started taking AP classes with my school. And then I knew I wanted to do more. Once I found out how many AP classes my high school offered, it was only 8. And I was like, oh, that's not, I think I need to do more, especially because my lifelong goal is to attend Harvard. So then I was telling my mentors about it and they were all like, oh, well, you could take dual enrollment. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So I did my research. And I was like, oh, I want to get my associate's degree. The same time I graduate high school, I want to get my associate's degree in biology. That way it could set me up in the medical field.
And so AP is advanced placement. And
yes.
So the dual enrolled classes help you to get that credit for that college degree, that 2-year degree. So aside from speaking to your mentors and obviously going to Harvard is a great goal, what else inspired you to enroll in college classes while you're still in high school?
Well, my mom. I always I'm trying to find like the best, fastest ways to be successful in life. And my mom, she's always like, school's important. School's important. You have to go to school. So I've always been like academically inspired because of her. And I've always just known that I need to do more. I've always like said that. My mom always tells me too. She's always like, nope, you can't bite too much off because you're going to burn yourself out. And I'm like, no, mom, I could do this. So then I was like, okay, dual enrollment's going to be my next step. So then I joined dual enrollment classes and it's been great so far. I love the professors. I love the class. I love the curriculum. It's very interesting.
Good. And we're going to talk a little bit more about details about dual enrollment. Tell us a little bit about how your experience has been so far and what does it feel like to be in the college environment?
It's very different. Especially like just registering for the classes was very difficult to me. And it was kind of like stressful because the ECC portal is very different from my high schools, considering to register for classes for high school, I just need to talk to my counselor and then they do all the work. But then for the ECC portal, it was a lot. But it's very helpful. They have many resources, such as like Arthur Michelle. She helped me a lot. I just went into her Zoom call and she was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. I could help you with this too. So then she helped me start my portal and she helped me register for classes. And then after that, I was set off. Canvas isn't that hard to use. It's very much like Schoology, which is something that my school uses. And then after that, I just navigated it. It was a lot. It was really like stressful, but good thing my professors have office hours and they check their emails regularly. So everyone's like kind of a part of a team and they all help me a lot.
That's great to hear. And I do want to talk a little bit about the differences between high school classes and even AP classes and taking classes via dual enrollment. But to get a little bit more of an understanding of the dual enrolled classes that you're in, what are some classes that you've taken and how did you decide on which classes to enroll in?
Well, I logged into a Zoom call from a link that I found on the ECC portal. And I was like, I need to get my associate's degree. That's like my number one goal. And the lady who helped me, she was like, okay, yeah. So what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. And she was like, okay, you could get your associate's degree in biology. And then she set up my plan and she was like, are you okay with this? And I was like, yes, it's fine to me. And then she was like, okay. So then we registered for the classes. We tried to get as many as I can because classes fill up fast. And then I was able to get into film and ethnic studies. And then just this winter 2025, I'll be taking communications. And then for the spring semester, I'll be taking biology 1A and then English.
And sounds like a very heavy course load. And there are limitations to dual enrollment. So it's not just taking 4 high school classes, for example, and taking 4 college classes at the same time. So about how many classes are you taking per semester?
Per semester, so I'm taking 4 with my high school, and then I'm taking 2 right now. But it's going to vary because I think next semester I'm going to take 3 with dual enrollment. But I'm not so sure. But at the moment, I'm taking 6.
Okay. And what's your favorite class been so far?
With dual enrollment, ethnic studies, I think it's so interesting. In the curriculum, we just had an assignment, and it was about how ethnic studies should be taught about more in high school classes. And I was like, it really should be, because it's so interesting the way the environment works. And it's a lot about social actives with cultural. And I think that's very interesting and something I find very entertaining to me. Like doing the assignments, I have so much fun.
Has there been anything that you've learned or done in your dual enrollment courses that you've brought back and applied to help you succeed in your high school classes?
Overall, just the workload I've been able to do. So this is how I do it. I focus on high school classes from Monday through Friday, and then I solely focus on dual enrollment classes the weekend, and also Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So that's how I do it, because I find that the teachers assign work once a week, but they'll assign all of the work from the week, and they give you a week to do it. I don't know how to explain it. So seeing the workload, it has genuinely helped me, and I think it's helped me become a more balanced person, especially my friends at school. They're like, oh, you're taking college classes? And I'm like, yeah, you guys should do it. And then I teach them oh, guys, this is what I learned from my lecture, and they find it very interesting too. So I just kind of spread my knowledge.
And my next question was actually going to be about students who are interested in dual enrollment like yourself, and they're wondering about the workload, which you kind of just shared. And you mentioned scheduling your time, but you also work a part-time job. So can you share some ways that you manage balancing your high school, your college coursework, working a part-time job, and being a high school student? There's things outside of high school or outside of school that, we like to do. So how do you balance and manage that workload?
Ultimately, I have a to-do list. I have a list of all of the things I need to do, and then I get it done one day at a time. I just manage your time management. I feel like it's one of the most important things. I learned that freshman year when I learned high school is not anything like middle school. So you just need to have a to-do list. I have a to-do list. I have everything written down that I need to do, and then I get it done one moment at a time. There are going to be moments where you feel like you're going to procrastinate. You feel like you're going to do bad on a test, so you feel like you want to give up. But ultimately, you just have to look at your lifelong goal. I always think, okay, Emily, you have to get into Harvard. Junior year is one of your most important years of high school, so that's all I remind myself of. My ultimate goal, I need to make my mom proud, and I need to get into Harvard. So that's what I remind myself of, and my to-do list is my biggest help. It was my biggest thing that I needed to do in order to keep my time management settled.
So you have your eye on the prize, yes. You have your ultimate goal, and you have your time management and your schedule, it sounds like. And I'm curious, do you use a paper pen planner?
No, I just use a Google Doc, and then with my Chromebook, I'll keep that tab open. That tab is always open. That way I could access it very easily.
Awesome. I'm sure some people will like to hear that. So you mentioned how when you made the transition from middle school to high school, you noticed right away there was a difference. Mm-hmm. Then there's another difference between high school. Well, there will be, right? When you go from high school to Harvard, let's say, right? So now you're in dual enrolled courses. What are some of the biggest differences between high school and college courses in terms of the workload or teaching style or anything else? What are some of those differences?
The difference is being in dual enrollment fully online, it's different because I've never even met my professor. So it's very common for me just to shoot them an email. At school, I could at school, it's a lot of high school students and the teachers are very busy. So at school, when I have a question or issue, I'll Google it or I'll go on YouTube and review the lesson plan myself. But for El Camino and dual enrollment, you guys have so many resources that all I have to do is email my professor and be like, oh, are we writing the essay on this? Or are we commenting it to this? Or for the final, do you need me to do this specifically or this specifically? And they're really the resources at high school are very different from the resources at El Camino. And I'm very grateful for the resources at El Camino because I don't think I would be able to have navigated it without the help of my professors and the Zoom links and your guys' resources.
That's great to hear. And one difference that I'm also aware of is that professors have office hours.
Yeah.
Have you used office hours? How have you used it, and how has that worked?
Yes, whenever I'm super confused, or most of the time, well, not most of the time, but I'm confused a lot of the time. So I'm always just emailing my professor for my film class specifically. I'm always like, wait, did I do this right? Because he would comment on my assignment and be like, oh, you didn't hit this mark of the rubric correctly. And then so I'll attend the office hours and get feedback, because feedback is my number one thing. Like, you need feedback in order to improve. And then I have seen that a lot of my assignments have been improving, and I enjoy that.
That's great. And then you touched a little bit about things like the portal, because that's another big difference between high school and college courses. Is in high school, for the most part, your counselors let you know what classes you're taking. And when you get to college, like you said, you have to go on the portal and you register yourself. So what is that like, especially as a first-gen college student, learning how to navigate those kinds of systems?
As a first gen, my mom didn't go to college. And it was very hard because my mom doesn't know, like, she doesn't know much. She just knows that college is important. I've always grown up with her telling me, like, if you want to be successful, you have to go to college. You have to do good in school. And I have been. But then when I reached the ECC for El Camino, I was like, oh, this is very different. So all I did was Google El Camino resource help. And then I went on a Zoom, and that's where I met Arthur Michelle. And she helped me a lot. Thanks to her, I was able to get other connections with other people so that they could help me find my classes. But she's the one who ultimately helped me learn how to search for the specific classes that I needed. And she's the one who helped me how to register, how to get right on time for the register list. Because when you're waitlisted, it's so much harder. And yeah, so I believe the resources at El Camino just ultimately helped me navigate with the ECC. Now I know how to do it a little bit more. Like this for winter 2025 and spring 2025, I was able to register for the classes all by myself, and I was very proud.
Perfect. That's awesome. That's great to hear. And as a first-gen student, it can be confusing, but you definitely have that strength and ability to go ahead and navigate. And like you said, you just look up on Google and you found the right resources. So I'm happy for you. Now, based on your experience, do you think dual enrollment is something that could benefit all students?
Yeah, I believe so, especially going to a low school like my school that doesn't offer that many AP classes and doesn't offer that many resources in order to up your resume and up your transcripts and be a competitive student to apply to a school like Harvard University. So I believe that El Camino really does help that, considering they offer a lot of classes. I scroll when I was searching for my classes, like, oh, you guys offer this? I want to take this. So you guys offer a lot, and it's a lot in a lot of different fields. So I believe that dual enrollment is very helpful with that. And if as a high schooler, I do recommend it for those who are really trying to navigate into what they want to do in life, especially because it's a free college class. So I believe that people should take it to figure out what they want to do and to explore more of the college life while they're still in high school and while they still have the chance to.
That's a good point. And you brought up something that we haven't touched on, which dual enrollment classes are free for high school students. So very important. So it's a benefit for you. It sounds like it's a benefit for those families who are funding their students' education. And it's a head start for you, like you said, to make you a competitive student, to get you to where you want to go. And I know how you said you guys offer these classes, but you're a warrior. So we offer these classes. You're part of the El Camino family. Now, thinking about the future, do you feel more prepared for college after high school because of this experience?
Yes, I feel like the overall experience, not only just the class or the curriculum, but also having the workload of the high school and college life and juggling a job and then tennis and then all of these things that I do. It's definitely, I feel like I'm definitely prepared for when I go to college, no matter the college I go to. We're hoping it's Harvard. But I feel like with the workload, a lot of people, when they're first getting into college, are like, this is a lot of work. This is really different. But I feel like El Camino and with the whole my ECC and like knowing how to get my resources has definitely helped me and prepared me more for life after high school.
That's great to hear. What do you think is the most exciting or surprising part about being a dual enrollment student that you think others should know about?
It's self-paced. So your professors, they will drop all of the curriculums and the modules, and then they'll drop your assignment at the beginning of the week, and it'll be due at the end of the week. So I think that's the most surprising. And you have to really learn how to time manage it yourself, and you have to really be on top of it because your professors, they will send out announcements. Reminder, you have this assignment due tonight, which I think is very helpful. But it's genuinely all in your own mind. It's all self-paced. Also, something really different is the assignments, like your homework assignments. They're worth like 10 points and they're worth a good amount of your grade. But ultimately, it comes down to your final. Your final is worth like the most of your grade. You can have an A in the class. And if you do bad on the final, you'll probably be failing the class. So you really have to focus on everything. Like you have to be able to juggle everything. You can't think, oh, I have a good grade, I could be bad in the final. Like that's how I am right now in my high school. I have all A's right now and finals are coming up, but I know that I could take a 0 on the final and still receive an A in the class. But with dual enrollment, it's not like that. So you really have to like focus on everything, and you really have to be, as we say, locked in. We really have to be locked in until the very end of the day of the semester.
That's a good point. And when you say self-paced, this is because your dual enrollment classes have been, for the most part, online.
Yes,
so it's good to know. Online. Definitely up to the individual to keep up with that time management and pace themselves. And I think I already know the answer to this question, but I'll go ahead and ask you, what are your plans for the future? And has dual enrollment changed your perspective at all on college or your career goals?
It hasn't. If anything, I take my classes and I score well and I'm like, okay, I could do this. Like, this is possible. I really could. And my life after high school, I really want to go to Harvard right after high school. I want to attend Harvard, study pre-med, and I want to be a pediatrician.
That's awesome. And I think you will be. Now, thinking about students who are thinking about dual enrollment, well, what we didn't touch on is the process. Is you start with the admissions application. There's a dual enrollment form that needs to be submitted. So it's usually a few more steps that are extra aside from what entering freshmen, for example, might have to fill out. So good for you for getting through all of those steps. And like I said, the college courses are free too. So that's another benefit. So now you've been there, done that. You're still going. You're going to keep taking classes, dual enrollment classes until you graduate high school. So what advice would you give to high school students who are considering dual enrollment?
You just need to reach out to your resources. Your resources, you cannot, well, probably could do it alone, but your resources will be your number one help. My mom, since I was little, I've been in this college bound with the Boys and Girls Club since I was in the 6th grade. I've been in Upward Bound with Dominguez Hills. I've been in EOP with UCLA, all programs that help you prepare for the whole college process and help you sign up for scholarships, and they'll help you with your college application. All programs that help you prepare what college is like. So reaching out to those resources, College Bound, my mentors over there are the ones I ultimately reached out to. Hey, can you guys help me with this? I want to start dual enrollment as they told me to. And I reached out to them and they really helped me. Like, you really need to ask questions and you need to be okay with it. You need to be okay to reach out with your resources. And it's okay if you can't figure out your ECC portal or anything, but that's your ultimate help, your resources that they provide for you, because they're there for a reason.
Definitely. And it's dual enrollment, but these are college courses. So when you graduate high school, you hope to graduate with what else? With
an associate's degree in biology to help me prepare also for the pre-med industry.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So thank you so much for taking the time to come in today and tell us a little bit about dual enrollment and your experience. You are very motivated and you're definitely on your way to accomplishing your academic and career goals. So thank you so much again for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.